Amanda, good to see you. How was the transition from the home office? Commute any better? I know you mentioned the I-95 corridor has been brutal since the new return to office mandates. Are you finding it difficult to context switch between the isolation of the home setup and the sensory overload of the open plan office? From a systems perspective, that kind of rapid environmental shift can cause massive latency in cognitive processing. It's like migrating a database while it's still actively receiving read and write requests. It is inherently unstable.
Oh, great. Optimizing the pipeline, maximizing deliverables. I hit all my metrics before 10 this morning, so my dashboard's solid. My hardware mouse jiggler is my most reliable coworker right now. The telemetry is clean, no flags from IT. We deployed the new microservices architecture and it was completely seamless. I have bandwidth, lots of it. I even had time to review pull requests from the junior team in Bangalore. And the commute was fine. I put on a podcast about container orchestration and zoned out. It's about efficiency, right? Optimize the commute. It's not wasted time. It's another node in the pipeline.
I hear you using systems language, Amanda. Pipelines, telemetry, bandwidth. You're comparing your commute to a database migration. But your breathing is fast. You are sitting very rigidly. Your shoulders are touching your ears. Your jaw is clenched. I want to know how you are doing. Not the architecture, not the deployment schedule, not container orchestration. You, the human being in front of me. How is your nervous system handling this optimization? How is your body handling the supply chain?
Welcome to the room. I'm Alec.
And I'm Grace.
What you are about to hear is a raw, peer-to-peer coaching session.
While we use clinical frameworks to guide these conversations, we are not licensed therapists, and this is not medical advice. We are simply here to help our guests with challenging workplace issues.
The door is closed. The mics are hot. Let's begin.
I'm fine. Really, I am completely fine. The algorithmic latency is just a lot to process. The new Bossware update means they're tracking active window focus, not just keystrokes. So if I look away from the integrated development environment to think about a complex problem or sketch a diagram on my whiteboard, it flags me as idle. But I'm managing it. I've optimized my workflow to ensure I'm always interacting with the user interface. I'm fine. It's just data, just another parameter to optimize around, another constraint in the system. I'm an architect. I build within constraints. That's what I do. I look at the rules engine, find the edge cases, and build a solution that satisfies the parameters.
It sounds like you're spending immense cognitive energy managing the optics of your work rather than the work itself. You are building within constraints, yes, but the constraints are adversarial. They are designed to monitor, not to assist. When you say you're fine, what does that actually feel like in your body at the end of a 10-hour shift of constant user interface interaction? When you finally close the laptop, when the telemetry stops transmitting, what is the physical sensation of being fine? To me, it looks like you are physically bracing for an impact that never comes.
It feels productive. It feels like I'm hitting my key performance indicators. That's what matters to the enterprise. If the metrics are green, the system is healthy. If the system is healthy, my job is secure. And right now, security is the only metric I care about. If my job is secure, I can pay my mortgage, I can buy groceries, I can survive. So, fine feels like survival. It feels like I navigated a minefield for another 8 hours without triggering an alert. It feels like relief. Not happiness, relief. Relief that I have another 24 hours before I log back in and prove I exist.
But we are not talking about the enterprise system, Amanda. We are talking about your nervous system. Your brain is constantly predicting whether this environment is safe or hostile. Right now, it sounds like your brain believes pausing to think is a punishable offense. It sounds like you are operating in a state of continuous threat detection. And living in continuous threat detection is the exact opposite of being fine. It's a biological emergency state. You are treating your body like hardware that can be overclocked indefinitely. But bodies don't have a cooling system for constant corporate surveillance.
It is a punishable offense. If my idle time goes above 12%, my manager gets an automated alert. If he gets 3 alerts in a quarter, I get a PIP. I had to write a script to simulate random mouse movements and scroll events just so I could read the documentation for the new API integration without being flagged as unproductive. I am reading, I am learning, I am solving the problem, but the system thinks I'm stealing time because I am not typing. So I have to steal time back just to do my job. It is a zero-sum game, and it's a game I have to win, every day, because if I lose, I am unemployed. And in this market, unemployed means obsolete.
That is classic proximity bias, digitized. Management believes that visible activity, even if it's a jiggling mouse or an active window, equals value creation. They're substituting a simple, easily measured metric for a complex, nuanced reality. They are measuring the motion of your hands, not the output of your mind. It's a fundamental failure of leadership masquerading as data-driven management. It is Taylorism for the cloud era. They have turned the knowledge worker into an assembly line worker. But instead of counting widgets, they are counting keystrokes.
Exactly. And it's exhausting. I have to constantly context switch between doing the deep architectural work and performing the shallow work the algorithm expects. I have to maintain 2 completely separate workloads simultaneously. One workload is the actual software I'm building. The other workload is the illusion of productivity I'm projecting to the bossware. It's like running a virtual machine that consumes 50% of your CPU just to report the CPU is working. But I am fine. Really, I can handle it. I'm a senior architect. This is the landscape now. We adapt to new surveillance parameters. We evolve to survive the metrics. Darwin would say the most adaptable survive, right?
Let's just sit with that exhaustion for a moment, Amanda. Stop adapting. You don't have to adapt in this room. You don't have to evolve to survive in this room. You don't have to be fine. You don't have to be green on the dashboard right now. Just breathe. Just be human for 60 seconds. Let the dashboard run without you. Let the system fail to measure you for 1 minute.
Let's focus our time, Amanda. Which specific friction point on your team is draining the most executive function this week? We can talk about the bossware abstractly, but what does it look like on a Tuesday afternoon, in the trenches? Give me a concrete example of how this drains your battery.
It's the asynchronous alibi. That's my name for it. I finished the core architectural commits for the payment gateway at 2 p.m. yesterday. It took 3 days of deep focus to solve the concurrency issues. I was exhausted, but done. It was elegant code. It solved a massive bottleneck.
Okay, you finished it too. You did brilliant work. Solved the bottleneck. What happened next? Did you log off? Did you rest?
What happened next? I couldn't just log off. The surveillance software tracks active keyboard hours and presence metrics. If I log off at 2, I am marked as underperforming, regardless of the fact I just solved a critical infrastructure problem no one else could touch. The system doesn't know about concurrency issues. It only knows about keystrokes. It only knows if the little light next to my profile picture is green or yellow. So, I sat there, stared at my screen. I opened blank documents and typed nonsense. I moved windows around. I scrolled through old Slack channels just to generate log events for the bossware. And then, I scheduled an email to send at 11:43 p.m.
Why 11:43 specifically?
Because 11:43 looks hardcore. It looks like I'm burning the midnight oil for the company. It hits the dashboard, my manager sees the timestamp the next morning, and suddenly I'm a team player. I'm dedicated, going above and beyond. It's performative suffering, and the algorithm loves performative suffering. It rewards it. It promotes it. It's the only metric of loyalty the system understands.
You're describing the logistics of software deployment. You are talking about timestamps and messaging platforms and dashboards and activity graphs. But underneath all that logistical language, I hear a profound sense of moral injury. It sounds like it actively hurts your soul to fake your work after you've already done something brilliant. It sounds like a deep betrayal of your own craftsmanship. You are an artisan being forced to pretend you're a factory worker pulling a lever just to prove you are awake.
It is humiliating, completely humiliating. I have a master's degree in computer science. I build systems that process millions of dollars a day. I hold the architecture together. And I spend 3 hours every afternoon pretending to type so a piece of HR software doesn't put me on a performance improvement plan. It is completely degrading. I feel like I am lying every single day, and the worst part is, the company forces me to lie to them. They've created an environment where honesty is punished and deception is rewarded. If I am honest and say I finished my work at 2, I'm penalized. If I lie and schedule an email for midnight, I am praised. It makes me feel sick.
It's an operational failure on their part. From a McKinsey 7S perspective, your organizational systems, the bossware and metrics, are fundamentally at war with your organizational strategy, which requires deep, innovative architectural thought to scale the product. They are incentivizing the exact opposite of what they need to succeed. They are optimizing for noise, not signal, and you are caught in the crossfire of their incompetence.
But they don't see it that way. They see the metrics. The metrics are the only truth they acknowledge. The dashboard is their reality. That is the reality they constructed. That is the reality the algorithm validates. It's a closed loop of stupidity, and I can't break it. I just have to live inside it.
And what is the reality you have constructed for yourself, Amanda? Because earlier you said you were fine, so clinical, so detached. But right now, I hear absolute terror. Terror of the dashboard turning red.
It's not terror, it's risk assessment. I have to play the game to pay my mortgage. If I automate the visibility better, I won't be so tired. I just need to outsmart the bossware.
You want to optimize the mask rather than addressing the fact that you feel you have to wear one to survive. You are trying to engineer your way out of a psychological trap. You are applying a software solution to an emotional problem. You are treating your burnout like a bug that needs to be patched. But burnout is not a bug, Amanda. It's your body telling you the environment is toxic.
If I take the mask off, I get fired. So yes, I want to optimize it. I have to. It's the only rational response to an irrational environment. I cannot fix the environment. I can only fix my response to it. And my response right now is inefficient. It takes too much energy to pretend to work. So I need a system that pretends to work for me.
Let's explore that calculation. You believe taking the mask off results in termination. And based on what you've described, you might be right. But what happens if you never take it off? What happens to the architect inside the mask after 6 months? A year? 5 years of faking keystrokes? What happens to the artisan when the only thing she builds is the illusion of productivity?
The artisan? The artisan gets a promotion because the artisan learns that the most elegant system she can design isn't a payment gateway. It's a foolproof camouflage that spoofs the activity logger. The artisan becomes a master of a new craft, the art of malicious compliance. It's a fascinating problem, actually, from a game theory perspective. The company sets the rules, and the rules are stupid. They've defined winning as maximum continuous keystrokes. So I'm building a bot to win their game, which frees up my time to do the actual work they're paying me for, which they can't see and don't value. It's a perfect closed loop of inefficiency. It's almost beautiful in its absurdity. It's a classic panopticon, right? Foucault would have a field day. The surveillance doesn't even need to be constant, just possible. The mere threat of the all-seeing eye of HR makes us police ourselves. We become our own wardens. I've basically turned my home office into a tiny, carpeted prison of my own design, and my mouse jiggler is my most trusted guard. It's my only coworker who doesn't talk about their weekend plans. It's a joke. You're supposed to laugh.
It sounds like a highly analytical part of you is stepping in to protect us, a very brilliant, articulate part that has read all the right books and can deconstruct the entire sociological framework of your company's dysfunction. And I want to acknowledge that part. That part is a genius. It has kept you employed, it's kept you safe, it has figured out how to win a game that was rigged from the start. So let's just validate that skeptical, philosophical part of you. It is doing an incredible job. It is a protector.
It's not a part, it's me. I'm just explaining the system. It's a technical problem with a technical solution. I'm an architect. I see systems. The system of surveillance is flawed, so I'm building a workaround. It's what I do. It is logical. You're trying to make it into something emotional, but it's really just input and output. The input is a demand for constant visibility. The output is a script that fakes it. Simple. There's no need to pathologize a perfectly rational response to a broken system. I'm not broken. The world of work is.
It's more than rational, Amanda. From a strategic standpoint, it's brilliant. You've diagnosed a systemic failure, an organization that has substituted activity for value, and you've engineered a solution that allows you to survive within that broken framework. You've created a firewall to protect your own cognitive resources. That's not a bug, that's a feature, a sign of high intelligence and adaptability. You're doing exactly what any high-performing individual would do when faced with arbitrary, illogical constraints. You aren't just surviving, you're running a covert operation to preserve your own sanity and craft. Most people just burn out. You've weaponized the system against itself. From a management consultant's perspective, it's an impressive piece of personal engineering.
See? Thank you. He gets it. It is a strategy. It is not a trauma response. It's a tactical maneuver in a corporate Cold War. And I'm winning. Mostly. My dashboard is green. My manager thinks I'm his most dedicated employee. My mortgage gets paid. Everyone gets what they want. The company gets its illusion of control. I get the quiet time I need to actually build things. It's a victimless crime.
And what is the cost of executing that brilliant strategy every single day? What is the allostatic load, the wear and tear on your body and mind of running that covert operation from 9 to 5, or in your case, 9 to 11:43 p.m.? Because every firewall, no matter how well designed, consumes system resources. Every piece of armor must be carried. What resources is this armor consuming?
It's manageable. It's better than the alternative. The alternative is becoming Dave. Dave is the loud laborer on my team. He doesn't write a line of code without posting a 3-paragraph treatise in Slack about the philosophical implications of his commit message. He schedules 30-minute meetings to ideate on synergies that could have been a sentence. His entire job is performance. He doesn't build software, he builds the narrative of building software. And management loves him. They think he's a leader. They see his constant noise and mistake it for signal. My deception, my little scripts and scheduled emails, they're a quiet rebellion to create space for actual work. His deception is the work. My mask is a shield. His is a megaphone. So the cost? The cost is less than the cost of becoming him. Anything is better than that. That's the real loss of the artisan, not faking keystrokes, but becoming a person who believes the performance is real.
So the protector part, the philosopher, has drawn a very clear line. It has said, I will lie, I will hide, I will build a fortress of deception, but I will not become a loud, performative fraud. It has preserved your moral integrity, even inside the lie. It's protecting your core identity as a craftsman. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. It's about protecting the work, the craft. If I have to become a ghost in the machine to do that, that's the price. I'm not a ghost, I'm an architect. I'm just working from inside a ghost costume. It's a little hot, a little clumsy, but it gets the job done, and it keeps the monsters away. The monsters being Dave and my manager's dashboard.
Let's talk about the costume. You said it's hot, clumsy, you've been wearing it for a long time. What happens when you can't take it off? When you go home at night, when you're trying to sleep, is the costume still on? When you talk about it, you're so detached, so analytical. You're describing it from the outside, like presenting a technical diagram. But you're not outside of it, Amanda. You are inside it. And I'm just wondering, what does the heat feel like? Where do you feel the clumsiness? Forget the analysis, forget Foucault, forget Dave. Just for a second, what does the costume feel like on your skin?
I don't know what you mean. It's a metaphor. It doesn't feel like anything. It's just a set of actions I take. It's a workflow, a process I run in the background. It is not a real thing, a construct, an abstraction. It's code. It runs, it executes, it terminates. It's not physical. It's a necessary fiction I created to survive.
But the exhaustion is real. The wear and tear is real. You're describing a brilliant adaptation, but every adaptation has an evolutionary cost. You've adapted to a low-oxygen environment by learning to breathe less. It keeps you alive, but it's slowly starving your cells. We're not judging the strategy, Amanda. We're trying to help you audit the expense. You're running 2 full-time jobs. Job 1 is senior systems architect. Job 2 is full-time digital counter-espionage agent. And only one of them is on your paycheck. That's a profound structural misalignment, and you're paying the price out of your own biological budget. The system isn't just broken, it's actively parasitic. It's feeding on the cognitive resources it claims to value.
It's not parasitic, it's just dumb. It's a dumb system designed by dumb people scared of losing control. I just have to be smarter than the system. It is a puzzle, and I am good at puzzles. It's fine. I'm fine. I just need a more efficient jiggler, a better script, maybe something with machine learning that can mimic my actual typing patterns more closely so it's undetectable to the new IT heuristics. I was thinking about it on the drive over. If I can reduce the cognitive load of the performance, I'll have more capacity for the real work. It is an optimization problem. It's always an optimization problem.
But you just said it's a dumb system. And you said the ghost costume is hot and clumsy. The optimization problem isn't making the costume more comfortable. The real problem is that you believe Amanda is the one who has to wear it. You've fused your identity with the problem. You said, I have to be smarter. I need a more efficient jiggler. You've made yourself the subject. What if we change the syntax? What if Amanda is not the problem? The outline says, the problem is the problem. The person is not the problem.
I don't understand. I'm the one who's exhausted. I'm the one who might get fired. How am I not the problem? I'm the one failing to cope.
No. You are a person being visited by a problem. Let's give the problem a name. You called it a dumb system. You called it a monster. So let's externalize it. Let's treat it like a separate entity. When that dumb system, that monster of paranoia, visits your home office at 3 a.m., what lies does it tell you about your architectural skills? What does it whisper about your value when you're not generating telemetry?
It doesn't whisper lies. It speaks the truth. It tells me my skills are irrelevant if they can't be measured. It tells me the only value I have is the value that can be represented on a dashboard. It tells me that Dave, the loud laborer, is 10 times more valuable than I am because his collaborative engagement score is in the top percentile, while mine is in the bottom quartile. That's not a lie. That is data. The objective reality of the corporate ecosystem.
Is it objective reality, Amanda? Or corrupted data from a flawed system? You're an architect. You know that if your input data is garbage, your output will be garbage. Let's apply Socratic questioning. Let's be rigorously empirical. You feel certain your manager values Dave more. What objective, outcome-based factual evidence supports that conclusion other than Slack emojis and dashboard metrics that we've already established are being gamed? What has Dave actually built, shipped, or created in enterprise value that is superior to the payment gateway you stabilized.
He gets public praise. He's the one our manager points to in all hands meetings as an example of a team player. He gets assigned to high-visibility synergy projects with other departments. My manager told me I need to be more of a force multiplier, like Dave.
And there it is, the catastrophic misalignment. We're back to the 7S framework. The organization's shared values have been corrupted. They claim to value innovation, but they actually reward visibility. The style of leadership has devolved from coaching to policing, so they look for the easiest person to police, the person who is constantly broadcasting. The systems, the bossware, are built to measure the wrong things, creating this exact pathology. This isn't a reflection of your value, Amanda. It's a reflection of a deeply broken organizational structure. The system is actively preventing architecture because architecture is quiet. It's preventing you from doing your job, and then it's gaslighting you into believing you're the one who is failing. The problem isn't your performance. The problem is that the organization has no coherent strategy for measuring the performance of its most critical talent. They've abdicated their responsibility to lead and handed it over to an algorithm that thinks Dave's emoji usage is a key performance indicator.
So I'm not crazy. It feels like I'm crazy. It feels like I'm the only one who sees the emperor has no clothes, and everyone else is complimenting his beautiful, data-driven suit. I just feel so anxious. All the time. I'm completely burnt out.
Let's build some granularity around that feeling. The brain uses concepts to make meaning of sensation. Right now, you're using big, blunt, metabolically expensive concepts, anxious and burnt out. When you use a word like anxious, your brain prepares for a vague, undefined threat by flooding your system with cortisol. It's an exhausting, inefficient response. What if we give it a more precise category? When you see Dave get praised for posting a PowerPoint slide about the work you did, is the feeling in your chest anxiety? Or is it the hot, sharp, righteous indignation of a master craftswoman watching a charlatan take credit for her work?
Indignation. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's not a fear that I'm not good enough. It's a certainty that I am, and the system is too stupid to see it. It is a profound professional insult. It feels insulting.
Good. That's a much more precise concept. Your brain can work with that. It can budget resources for insult much more efficiently than it can for vague, world-ending anxiety. Now let's deconstruct burnt out. When you have to spend 3 hours faking keystrokes after solving a massive problem, is that generic burnout? Or is it a very specific, unique kind of exhaustion? Let's invent a concept for it. Let's call it Fauxductivity Fatigue, the soul-crushing weariness from the performance of fake work. Does that resonate more than burnt out?
Fauxductivity fatigue. My God, yes, that's it. It's not the coding that drains me. I can code for 12 hours and feel energized if the problem is interesting. It's the fauxductivity, the mouse jiggling, scheduling the late-night email, the performative Slack messages, the emotional labor of pretending to be a force multiplier like Dave. That's what's killing me. It's the mask, the costume, the ghost, the weight of the performance.
And that performance is a direct result of the system's failure. It's a symptom, not the disease. The disease is an organization with a broken skills element at the management level. Your manager lacks the skill to measure outcomes, so he measures activity. He can't see the elegant architecture, but he can see Dave's Slack posts. You are suffering from fauxductivity fatigue because your leadership is suffering from a terminal case of managerial incompetence. You are not a failing employee. You are the canary in a toxic coal mine. Your exhaustion is a perfectly sane reaction to an insane environment.
So let's rewrite the narrative. The old story was, I am a deeply anxious, failing employee, and I need to optimize myself to survive. Let's try the new one. When the dumb system demands a performance and Fauxductivity fatigue sets in, what's the story now?
The story is, the system is broken. My manager is measuring the wrong thing, and the feeling I have isn't a personal failure, it's indignation, a moral injury. The fatigue isn't my fault, it's a resource drain caused by a parasitic system that demands performative labor. I'm not burnt out from my work. I'm exhausted from the theater of it.
Exactly. And by naming it, by externalizing it, you take back control. It's no longer an intrinsic part of you. It's an external force you must navigate. It's a hostile variable in the equation, not the sum of your own worth. The problem is the problem. You are the architect who must design a solution around it.
So the next time that feeling of hot, sharp indignation visits you after Dave hijacks a project, what can you tell yourself? Instead of, "I'm so anxious I can't handle this," what's the new internal monologue?
This is indignation. It is a rational response to a profound professional insult. The system is rewarding noise over signal. This feeling is not a weakness in me. It is evidence of a failure in the organization's values. It feels different saying that. It feels more solid, less like I'm drowning, more like I'm standing on the shore, watching a shipwreck.
That is the beginning of predictive resilience. You're recategorizing the data. You're updating the model. You're not a passenger on the shipwreck, Amanda. You're the architect who sees the iceberg and understands exactly why the ship is sinking. An architect who understands the system's flaws is an architect who can decide whether to fix them or to build a lifeboat and sail somewhere else.
Exactly. I'm the architect watching the shipwreck. I see the flawed design, the iceberg, the whole damn thing. It's a perfect case study. It's like last month with the hardware jiggler. IT pushed a silent update to the Bossware suite. The new vendor's algorithm wasn't just tracking idle time, it was running heuristic analysis on the cursor's movement patterns. My simple physical jiggler created a perfectly repetitive geometric pattern, an oscillating sine wave, which was completely predictable. The new algorithm was clearly designed to detect the low entropy of automated movement versus the high entropy of human interaction. It was brilliant, in a deeply cynical way. So, it detected my jiggler, flagged it as an unauthorized anti-surveillance circumvention device, and automatically triggered a credential suspension. I was locked out, instantly. A ticket was auto-generated and assigned to my manager, the director of IT and HR, all with a P1 severity. The subject line, Investigation of Time Theft. The system didn't just catch me, it convened a grand jury. From a purely systemic perspective, it was a flawless execution of a corporate security protocol. They identified a vulnerability, the analog loophole, and patched it with a sophisticated algorithmic update. I couldn't even be mad. I was impressed. A well-designed piece of forensic software. It did its job perfectly.
Let's put the analysis of the IT infrastructure down for just a moment. As you sit here and explain how perfectly logical and impressive their surveillance update was, what is happening in your chest right now?
My chest? Nothing. It's an interesting technical problem. I'm just explaining the telemetry and the countermeasures. The important thing is that I've already prototyped a version 2 of my camouflage script using a Perlin noise function to generate more organic, less predictable mouse movements. If I can feed it my own historical tracking data, I can probably train a lightweight machine learning model to mimic my personal patterns with 99% accuracy. The problem is solvable. It's another iteration.
I hear the solution. I hear the brilliant architect. But you're not in your home office iterating on a script. You're here, with us. I want you to close your eyes, just for a second. Drop your attention down from the processing unit in your head into your body. Forget the Perlin noise function. Forget the machine learning model. What are you noticing, physically, as you remember seeing that P1 ticket with your name on it?
This feels abstract, irrelevant. The emotional response is just a fleeting artifact of the biological hardware. It's noise in the signal. The signal is the problem and the solution. The feeling doesn't help me solve the problem. It's an unhelpful variable, a distraction. We were making real progress deconstructing the organizational failure. Why would we pivot to somatic navel-gazing? My body is irrelevant. The problem is external. The system is the problem.
Think of it as a systems audit, Amanda, but for a different kind of system. The Fauxductivity fatigue we identified, the moral injury, that's not noise. That's critical data leaking from your own internal operating system. It's an alert telling you that you are running on reserve power. Your cognitive firewall, as brilliant as it is, has a massive energy cost. What Grace is asking for is a real-time diagnostic on that biological power draw. What is the physical cost of maintaining that shield at this exact moment? If you don't audit that cost, you can't manage the budget. You are running a massive biological deficit.
A deficit. I don't like feeling it. When I feel it, I can't think. I can't architect. I can't build the solution. The analysis is the shield. The analysis is what keeps me functional. If I drop the analysis, what's left? If I stop thinking, what am I? I'm just a sensor picking up failure signals. And I can't afford to fail. So I have to think. I have to solve. I have to stay in my head. It is safer in my head.
We need to take a break to tell you about our sponsors. Are you completely exhausted at the end of the workday, even if you haven't moved from your desk? If you're burning out, you've probably been told you just need to manage your stress better or download another meditation app. But what if you aren't actually stressed? What if your body is simply bankrupt? The latest neuroscience reveals a startling truth. Burnout is not a psychological weakness. It's a biological accounting error. Your brain is constantly managing a metabolic body budget, and every back-to-back virtual meeting is a massive withdrawal. Enter the Architects of Resilience training program. This isn't generic corporate wellness or toxic positivity. It's a clinical-grade, neuro-backed program built for high-performing professionals. You'll learn to decode your nervous system, debug your cognitive distortions, and literally turn the biology of panic into the precise neurochemistry of elite performance. Stop fighting your biology and start wielding it as your greatest executive advantage. Reclaim your cognitive bandwidth today. Visit architectsofresilience.com to get started. That's architectsofresilience.com. And now back to our show.
I know it feels safer. The protector part, the philosopher, has built a fortress in your mind, and it is very, very safe there. But it is also a prison. It has cut you off from your own territory. The body is where the score is kept, Amanda. That indignation we named isn't an abstract concept. It's a physical event. It lives in your tissues. The Fauxductivity fatigue lives in your muscles. Your body is the primary source data, and your brain has been writing elegant, beautiful, complex code specifically to ignore it, to write it off as an unhelpful variable. All I'm asking is that you stop debugging the corporate machine for 1 minute and just read the log files from your own. Humor me. What does the primary source data say now?
It's tight. Right here, in my sternum. It's not a sharp pain, it's a pressure, a weight, like a heavy plate is sitting on my chest. It's hard to get a full breath. My breath keeps catching, right at the top, and my throat is constricted. It feels like the air is thick, heavy, and my hands are cold. My fingers are freezing, but my face feels hot. It's a thermal mismatch. It's inefficient, a poorly regulated system.
Stay with the sensation. Forget the analysis of its efficiency. Just describe the pressure, the weight on your chest. What is it like?
It's dense, very dense, and it's old. It feels old. It's not from today. It's been there a long time. I don't usually point my attention at it. I build around it. I route the data around the damaged node. It has always been a damaged node, so I work around it. I've always worked around it. It's just a constraint of the hardware I was issued.
Amanda, that's not a hardware constraint. That's a battle scar. You're describing the physical manifestation of carrying the weight of two full-time jobs. The architect and the spy, the builder and the ghost. That is the cost of the armor.
It feels heavy. The performance is so heavy. The costume is so heavy. I'm tired of wearing it. I'm so tired. I just want to build things. I just want to solve interesting problems. And I'm spending all my energy, all my CPU cycles, just pretending to exist for a system that's too dumb to see me. It's a waste. A total waste.
Yes, keep your eyes closed. Stay right there. That tightness, that weight, that old, heavy pressure you've been rooting all your data around for years. You're describing it like it's a structural flaw, a bug in the system. But that doesn't sound like an inefficient thermal mismatch. That sounds like unshed tears. That doesn't sound like logic. That sounds like grief.
Grief? No, what am I grieving? A bad job? A faulty security protocol? It's not a death. It's just a series of suboptimal parameters I failed to navigate. It's pathetic. I should just get another job, but they're all like this now. They all have the dashboards, the Daves, the noise. I spent $100,000 on a master's degree to learn how to build secure, scalable systems, and I spend my days building a digital puppet to dance for a piece of software that thinks creativity is a rounding error. I'm grieving the waste, the absolute monumental waste of it all. The waste of my time, the waste of my mind. It's just so stupid. The whole thing is so stupid, and I'm a part of it, and I can't get out.
Amanda, it's not the job you're grieving. It is the death of your craft. You are grieving the artisan you were forced to silence so the puppet could survive.
Yes, her. I miss her. I miss being her. I miss the feeling of solving a problem that mattered, the quiet pride of it, that feeling of flow. I haven't felt that I don't know how long, years maybe. Now it's just noise. The noise from Dave, the noise from the notifications, the noise in my own head trying to remember to jiggle the mouse every 45 seconds. I just wanted to build elegant systems. That's all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to make things that worked, that were clean, that helped people. And instead, I spend all my time, all my energy just proving that I exist. I am so tired of proving that I exist.
And that, right there, is the ultimate catastrophic failure of their entire management paradigm. The system has become so pathologically obsessed with measuring the performance of the machine that it has completely lost the ability to value the architect. They have designed a world where proving you're working is more important than actually doing the work. The grief you feel isn't a personal pathology, Amanda. It is the only sane, logical, human response to being treated like a ghost. That exhaustion is the final, undeniable data point proving their entire strategy is morally and systemically bankrupt. They aren't just accumulating technical debt, they're accumulating human debt, and they're putting it all on your account.
The artisan is still there, Amanda. She's the one who saw the flaw in the sine wave. She's the one who thinks in Perlin noise. She's the architect who sees the shipwreck. She hasn't been killed. She's just been exiled. And she is exhausted from spending all her energy trying to send you signals from that exile. That weight on your chest? That's her, knocking on the door, trying to come home. The grief isn't the enemy. It's the guide. It's telling you exactly what has been lost. It's telling you what needs to be reclaimed.
But how? I don't know how to reclaim it. I don't have the energy to fight them anymore. The puppet, the ghost, the performance takes everything. It feels like there's nothing left over for me, for her, for the artisan. I feel empty, like the burnout finally won. It just hollowed me out, and all that's left is the heavy costume And the weight. There's nothing else inside.
Okay, Amanda, stay with me. That feeling of emptiness is a memory. It feels like it's happening right now, but it is not. You are right here, in this office. You are safe. Look at me. Open your eyes and look at my face.
I can't. It's too much. The weight is still there. It feels like the whole system is crashing. A total core meltdown. I'm just falling.
You are not falling. I've got you. I want you to listen to my voice. Just my voice. I'm going to ask you to do something simple. Feel your feet on the rug. Both, flat on the floor. Can you feel the texture of the carpet through your shoes?
Yes, I think so. It's rough.
Good. Now push them down. Push your feet hard into the floor. Feel how solid it is. It is holding you. The floor is not falling. You are not falling. You are anchored. Push.
Okay, I'm pushing.
Excellent. Now, keep pushing. And look around this room. Don't think, just look. I want you to find 5 things in this room that are the color blue. You are not allowed to speak again until you name the first one. Find one blue thing.
Your sweater. It's navy blue.
That's one. Perfect. Find another one.
The book on the shelf. The spine is royal blue.
That's 2. You are doing perfectly. Find a third.
The pen. In your cup. Light blue.
3. 2 more to go. Keep breathing.
The water bottle. The cap is blue. And the frame on that picture. The sky in the picture is blue. That's 5.
That's 5. See? You did it. You are here, in this room. You are not inside the collapsing system. You are sitting in a chair, in an office, on a Tuesday, looking at 5 blue things. You are present.
You are also the architect who understands how that system was built, Amanda. You understand its flaws better than anyone. An architect's greatest skill isn't just designing new systems. It's the ability to stabilize existing ones. It's the deep, ingrained knowledge of foundations. What you just did right now was find the foundation. You found the floor. You ran a diagnostic on reality and it came back stable. That is your core competence. You build structures that hold. You just prove you can do it for yourself.
He's right. Breathe into that. The artisan isn't gone. She's the one who just found the 5 blue things. She's the one who can feel her feet on the floor. She is the part of you that knows how to ground a system. Just stay with that feeling, the feeling of the solid floor. How does that feel now?
It's quieter. The noise in my head is quieter. The weight, it's still there, but it's not crushing me anymore. It feels a little further away. I can breathe around it now.
That is a successful deployment. You have rerouted the processing load. You have shifted from a critical failure state to a stable, low-power mode. That is not a failure. That is a recovery. That is resilience in action. You are not empty, Amanda. You are rebooting. I want to be mindful of our time as we approach the end of the hour. This was a significant reboot. Before we close the container for today, what's the one piece of new code you're taking with you? What's the key takeaway you want to integrate into your personal operating system this week?
That the exhaustion isn't a bug in me. It's a feature of the toxic environment. The Fauxductivity Fatigue, giving it a name makes it feel less like a personal failing and more like an external adversary. A bad piece of code someone else wrote that I've been forced to run on my own hardware. And the grief, it's for the artisan, the part of me that actually loves the work. I thought she was dead. It feels possible she's just in exile.
That is a beautiful and precise summary, Amanda. She is not dead, and the goal is not to fight the adversary head-on. The goal is to stop giving it your resources. This week, we want you to practice allostatic budget management. Think of your energy as a finite resource, a literal budget. We need to stop the fraudulent withdrawals and start making deliberate deposits.
Exactly. Your homework is a simple audit. I want you to categorize your daily activities into two buckets: metabolic taxes and metabolic deposits. A tax is any activity that drains you for the sake of performance. The mouse jiggler, the performative Slack messages, pointless meetings. A deposit is any activity that genuinely restores you. A walk without your phone, deep work on a problem you love, even staring out the window for 10 minutes. Just observe. Don't change anything yet. Just build awareness. Except for one thing.
What one thing?
We need to generate a prediction error. Your brain holds a rigid predictive model that says, if my productivity score drops, I will be instantly terminated. We need to test that prediction. So, for just one 30-minute block this week, we want you to deliberately drop a safety behavior. Turn off the jiggler, let your Teams icon go yellow, and just read, or think, or pace. Experience the score drop. Collect the data on what actually happens.
My manager will get an alert. He'll call me.
And you'll say, I was doing deep work, conceptualizing the next phase of the architecture. You'll tell the truth. Your brain predicts catastrophe. We are asking you to run an experiment to see if reality is merely an uncomfortable conversation. You are an architect. You test your assumptions before you build. It's time to test this one.
You don't have to do it if it feels unsafe. But reclaiming the artisan begins with proving to your brain that she is allowed to exist without a keyboard. We'll start next week by reviewing the data from that experiment.
Okay, one experiment, 30 minutes. I can try that. It's a test case.
That's all it is, a test case. We're at time. Thank you for the difficult work you did.
I suppose this means I shouldn't execute the malicious script I wrote, the one to blind the IT department's bossware globally.
The what?
It's a logic bomb, tied to my dead man's switch. If my credentials get suspended again, it deploys. It doesn't just spoof my data, it corrupts the entire telemetry database for the whole company with high-entropy garbage data. Renders all their productivity metrics useless for at least a fiscal quarter. I called it Project Chimera. It's elegant.
That is an incredibly important piece of information, Amanda. I want to honor the weight of that, which means we cannot rush it in 60 seconds. That will be the very first thing we unpack next week.
Before we sign off, we want to send a huge thank you to the incredible team at Fellowship of Harmony. While the space we explore on this show is vital, everyday support is just as important. Fellowship of Harmony is a nonprofit whose mission is to bring peer coaching to the masses. Finding your footing and managing stress is so much easier when you have a peer in your corner who truly understands what you're going through. You can learn more, find resources, and support their mission by visiting fellowshipofharmony.org. Again, that's fellowshipofharmony.org. If you found value in today's episode, we would really appreciate it if you could leave a like or hit subscribe wherever you're listening. It goes a long way in helping us keep bringing these stories and resources to you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in the next session.